Bambi, The Winter Trail by Kathy Henderson. One winter morning, Bambi was sleeping softly when he heard the thumping sounds nearby. "Come on, Bambi," his bunny friend Thumper called. "It's a perfect day for playing." And Bambi got up and followed Thumper through the forest. It was a beautiful day. The sky was blue, the sun was shiny, the ground was covered with a new fresh blanket of snow. Icicles glistened on the trees as Bambi and Thumper raced through the frozen branches. As the two friends played across a line of footprints in this As the two friends played, they came across a line of footprints in the snow. "Look at these tracks," Thumper said excitedly. "Who do you suppose they belong to?" And the friends decided to follow the prints, hoping to meet the animal that left the trail. Before long, they came to a tree and someone who might have made the snowy tracks. "Wake up, friend owl," said Thumper, and the bird peered down at the animals. He had just flown to his favorite spot and fallen a tree. "Stop that racket," he said crossly and closed his eyes. Thumper and Bambi giggled. Friend Owl was always grouchy when they woke him up. "Friend Owl, have you been out walking?" Bambi asked. "Now, why would I do that?" said Friend Owl. "My wings take me everywhere I need to go." "Oh, I see," said Thumper. "Thanks anyway." So the two friends continued to follow the snow prints. Soon Bambi and Thumper met up with their friend Feline. "You can help us find whoever made these tracks too," Bambi said, pointing to the trail. Feline nodded and began to walk with them. "We should see if Flower wants to come too," said Feline. Flower was their skunk friend. But when they found Flower, he was fast asleep. Thumper tried to wake Flower, but the little skunk just mumbled, "See you next spring," without opening his eyes, and his friend decided to go on without him. Thumper bounded across down the path, and he followed the footprints to a frozen pond and glided across. "Come on! The tracks are over here too." So Feline and Bambi started across the pond, but before long, Feline had joined Thumper on the other side. But Bambi wasn't too good as a skater. His hooves slipped backwards, and forward he fell flat on the ice. "Aw, Bambi," Thumper giggled. "It's okay. We can go skating later, but I'll show you how to spin around." After slipping and sliding, Bambi finally took off at a running start and made it across the pond on his belly. "You made it!" Feline cheered. Next, the three friends walked up the snowy hill. At the top, they spotted a raccoon in a tree trunk eating some berries. "Hello, Mr. Raccoon," Feline said. "Did you happen to see who made these tracks in the snow?" But the raccoon's mouth was full, and he couldn't say anything. He just shook his head and began tapping on the tree. Friends looked around, and when they heard a tap, tap, tap in the distance, "I know," Thumper cried. "He thinks he should ask the woodpeckers." "Oh, thank you," Bambi said. The raccoon waved goodbye as his friends headed down the path to the woodpeckers' pine grove. The tapping got louder. Soon Bambi and Feline and Thumper found the woodpeckers. The mama was pecking away at the little children sitting in the holes in the tree trunk. They stuck out their legs when they heard Thumper called, "Halloo!" "Yes," Mama Bird replied. "Do you think you know who made the tracks in the snow?" Thumper asked. "No, we've been here all day," she answered. "Yes, yes, yes," the babies answered. Just then Feline noticed the trail continued behind the tree. Bambi and Thumper chatted excitedly as they walked. "If the tracks don't belong to the woodpeckers, and they don't belong to the raccoon, and they don't belong to Friend Owl, whose could they be?" Suddenly Thumper stopped and looked down. They had finally reached the end of the trail. and the tracks were all snowy going into a bush where a family of quail was resting. "Did you make these tracks?" Thumper asked Mother Quail. "Why, yes," she replied. "Friend Owl told me about this wonderful bush, so this morning me and my baby took a walk over here." Thumper and Bambi and Feline cheered. They had solved the mystery of the strange tracks, and they had spent a beautiful day visiting friends. "Oh dear," said Feline when she noticed the sun was setting. "I think it's time for me to go home now." When they turned to leave, a big surprise was waiting for them. Their mothers. Thumper was confused. "How'd you find us?" he asked. Thumper Mamas answered, "Well, your sisters pointed us in the right direction," and then she looked down at the deer tracks and the rabbit tracks, and that 3 friends were left in the snow. "We followed your trail," Feline cried. Feline's mother cried, and her mother nodded. "So now it's time to follow it back home," Bambi's mom said, and that's just what they did. The end.